Welcome to the AM show. The morning after the Black Stars drew against Ethiopia in the World Cup qualifier, further dimming their chances of making it to Qatar. The team now has to win convincingly against Bafana this Sunday to make it to the next stage. Yes, unfortunately, we find ourselves having to do permutations because we didn't make the most of the opportunities we had at the beginning of the qualifiers against what you can describe as relatively weaker opposition. Anyway, this morning on the AM show, we'll be having the kind of conversations you're having at home, but in our case, with some pundits who understand football relatively better than some of us. And then yesterday, while I was out there having fun on my trotro ride, it turned out the transmission from my outside broadcast equipment kept truncating. It was only when I got back to the studio that I got to know that most of the nearly hour-long engagement with the passengers and driver of the trotro from Achimota to Accra Central didn't get to you. Look, I had so much fun.
Sika Ghana government no mo. No ani sika no mo no dey yo. Akeha na kefe no na kwa fe ni wo man bia wo ya ajo. Wo sika yo. Ghana ke wo sika.
O sika me no mo.
Ni ba je man segbe ka ba fe ba Ghana. Auza me ni je ton ba Ghana. Mo fe mo ba Ghana. Efi we Ghana.
All right, so this was when I came off out of the trotro at the end of the journey, and right there and then, once they saw that I had my camera, I got accosted. Everybody wanted to talk to me, to speak their minds about issues that were bothering them. And of course, the issue of transport fares was top on their minds. This morning, we'll play you a bit of the conversation, which essentially metamorphosed from the general complaint about increasing fuel prices and the burden it is imposing on Ghanaians to how trotro drivers are using clever or even dubious means to cheat passengers. Stay tuned in for that. We'll also talk about the NSMQ Championship. The 1/8 stage starts on Monday. We'll speak with the organizers and some sponsors on the show. We also got the DYC choir to serenade us with some good music on the show today. And how quickly time flies. It's exactly a year since former President Rawlings left us. Today, we remember the man many preferred to call Dr. Boom. There's a memorial service for him at the Holy Spirit Cathedral later this morning. I will be there as we bring it to you live. Of course, because we're mourning, there'll be no showbiz today. I'm Israel Lai, and I'll be doing this with Enimwa Enimado the Adorable. Good morning to you.
What's up, guys? My name is Sammy Forson, host of the Weekend City Show and Ignition right here on Joy 99.7 FM. Well, anytime you happen to be busy and you miss out on your favorite shows right here on Joy FM, here's what you can do. Log on to myjoyonline.com/podcast. Just go on there and you'll find all your shows on demand 24/7. There you can catch up. Remember, Joy FM remains your radio for discerning listeners.
Hello and welcome to the AM News with me, Mapisa CBD. In our first story, government says its management of the Ghanaian economy and the public purse sharply contrasts the assertion by the Catholic Bishop Conference that government has lost touch with the populace and reneged on the promise to protect the public purse. The bishops at a plenary assembly of the association in Noir questioned what is said was a lack of empathy from the government towards Ghanaians. The Director of Communications at the Jubilee House, Eugene Ayen, has been reacting to this and other issues. Presidential correspondent Alton Brobre reports.
The briefing focused on what has been done so far and what is ahead of President Akufo-Addo in the weeks to come. Now, top on the agenda was government response to publication that over 337 people attended the just-ended climate change conference in Glasgow, Scotland. A government response provided by the Director of Communication at the Presidency, Eugene Ayen, is that only 24 individuals were sponsored by the Presidency.
Let me state for the record that the government of Ghana did not send or fund 337 Ghanaians to attend COP26. Indeed, there are three categories of persons who were permitted to attend COP26. And these are: 1, United Nations and related organizations and agencies; 2, media and non-profit organizations with observer status; and 3, representatives of parties to the convention and observer states. From what we've seen so far, 7 persons who registered as participants indeed attended the summit. I mean, there were media personalities as well as reps from TSOs who were captured on the list of 337 persons, and who have also confirmed that their trip to Glasgow was not funded by government. So for the avoidance of doubts, let me place on record that the official presidential delegation, emphasis on presidential delegation, comprised of 24 persons, including the President, the Minister for Foreign Affairs, the Minister for Energy, the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, and the Minister for Environment, Science, Technology, and Innovation, as well as officials of the Presidency and Foreign Ministry.
Government also came under criticism by the Catholic Bishop Conference, who are of the view that government is not managing the economy well and the public purse, and that has given rise to hardship in the country and a feeling of hopelessness. Now, Eugene Ahaye's explanation to the Catholic Bishop Conference criticism is that it is not grounded on facts.
Of particular interest to us at the Presidency are the comments made by the respected Catholic Bishop. Inasmuch as this administration is extremely tolerant of divergent views and welcomes criticisms of its work, we believe that these criticisms should be well-founded and well-grounded in fact, as this is the only way an honest conversation devoid of malice and propaganda can be held. You all recollect that the President took the oath of office on 7th of January 2017, and again on 7th of January 2021. And on both occasions, he pledged to protect the public purse, and that's exactly what he has done and he continues to do. Indeed, the transformation that has taken place in all aspects of national life point to an economy that has been well managed, a public purse that is being well protected, and the benefits are showing. Indeed, if President Akufo-Addo had superintended over the wanton dissipation of public funds, firstly, the Ghanaian people would not have reposed their confidence in him barely 10 months ago by returning a decisive margin of victory for him in the 2020 elections. Now, free SHS, which guarantees a minimum of senior high school education for all Ghanaian children and has already granted access to some more than 400,000 children, would not have been possible if the public purse was not being protected.
The President expected to take a 1-week leave of absence from work after attending a UNESCO program. But also brewing in the country is the rising cost of fuel and its attendant effects on the populace. Now, the explanation from the Presidency is that government has already removed 2 taxes on the petroleum buildup.
President Akufo-Addo will, from Saturday 13th November to Saturday 20th November, take a much-deserved, long overdue 7-day leave of absence, during which he has also accepted an invitation to preside over the panel that would adjudicate a debate in the French Parliament on the trial of progress on 19th of November. He's expected to come back to Ghana on Saturday 20th of November, and in his absence, the Vice President, Alhaji Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, will act in his stead. The Minister for Finance has already indicated that we have put in place 100 billion cedis to be able to implement this Ghana Cares Opata program, which will be able to help alleviate some of these problems. On the contrary, instead of imposing hardships, I don't think any president or anybody would delight in doing that to the citizenry. The Minister for Finance is due to read the budget on 15th November, and I'll just suggest that the former president should just take a chill pill and wait. And let's see how best the budget would address the concerns of the average Ghanaian.
From the Jubilee House, Elton Brobe reporting for Joy News.
Meanwhile, the governing New Patriotic Party has described former President John Mahama as a walking embodiment of corruption who has no moral right to speak on the phenomena. The former president, at the end of his thank you tour of Ghana's 16 regions, held a lecture at which he castigated government for what he said was their poor handling of corruption in the country. The former president cited the PDS scandal, Ameri, among others, as his evidence for what he said was the worsening corruption under the government of President Akufo-Addo. Speaking at a news conference to respond to the issues raised in Mr. Mahama's speech, Director of Communications for the NPP, Yao Bobeng Asamoah, said John Mahama has no moral right to speak on these issues.
Former President Mahama talks about corruption on his thank you tour campaign trail. He's asking Ghana to give him, John Mahama, the working embodiment of corruption, the mandate to come and fight corruption. His solution to fighting corruption in his critical actions paper of 2012 was that he would lead by example. That was his solution to fighting corruption. He would lead by example. This example, John Mahama, had to be investigated by his own president for doubtful aircraft procurements. Is implicated as government official one in the Airbus bribery scandal and signed off on a $1.2 billion to deliver a project, $1.2 billion to deliver a project eventually done for $4.6 million, a difference of 26,000% in savings. This example was swallowed by alleged organized judgment debt shenanigans. Yes, John Mahama can talk about corruption, but he has not the faintest inkling of integrity to combat it.
A law lecturer at the Ghana Law School, Justice Shrimsai, says despite the widespread calls for an upgrade of the 1992 Constitution, the exercise will not be feasible under President Akufo-Addo. According to him, the president himself has violated many provisions in his tenure, making it practically difficult for him to facilitate such an initiative. He made these remarks during a stakeholder discussion on the 1992 Constitution by the Eagle Forum at the Gimpa Law Faculty. Here's a report by Joy News' Pakwesi Shandoff, read to you.
The stakeholders' conversation by the Eagle Forum was denied to collate the inputs and opinions of Ghanaians on the 1992 Constitution. A three-member panel comprising constitutional lawyer and lecturer Justice Shrimsai and two others, private legal practitioners Beatrice Anang and Lamtig Apanga, was constituted to front the discussions. After hours of engagement, the House collectively agreed that there is the need for Ghana to embark on an immediate upgrade of the Constitution in order to address the existing anomalies and lacunas that appear to hamper governance and fail to adequately address the needs of contemporary times. But private legal practitioner Justice Shrimsai believes even though all Ghanaians must rally behind the calls for an upgrade of the Constitution, a review exercise will not be successful under the current Akufo-Addo administration.
It is not, from my research, it is not favorable because if you look at the position of this government in particular, under this government, we have seen a lot of limitation on human rights, for instance. We have seen a downward trend on press freedom. We have also seen issues of conflict of interest, which have deteriorated. So when you put all these things together, it is clear indication that the very issues that if we want to change the constitution, we want to improve are the things that are going down under this government. What it tells you is that if you put such questions out or you suggest such amendment, you are going to have the reverse of what exactly you wanted.
Regarding the perennial issues surrounding the admission of law students into the Ghana School of Law, had to say.
Sorry, I do not have any immediate proposal on the law school issue. As of now, my thoughts would probably be later communicated clearly than at this moment.
Meanwhile, private legal practitioner Beatrice Anand says, amidst the calls for a constitutional review, the country must also be concerned about its economic transformation. This, she believes, will make a constitutional review more meaningful.
In fact, the economy is everything. It has direct translate, or it translates directly into the health, education, social, political, and every aspect of our lives. And so that's why I believe that constitutional amendments in themselves do not solve the challenge of underdevelopment.
Pakwesi Shandoff's report for Joy News.
A health center constructed in 2015 to serve Manyene and 8 other farming communities in the Mion district of the northern region is yet to be opened for use. Sick people, especially pregnant women, have had to travel over 15 kilometers to Naundo to access health care. Now, these challenges have forced many to resort to self-medication and in some cases, needless death because of lack of a proper health care.
It's a matter of choice for people living in big cities to choose whether to visit a private facility or a public one. whenever they are ill because there are lots of health centers. But that is not the case for rural communities who do not have this luxury. Several communities are in dire need of health service for common diseases such as malaria and diarrhea. They will have to walk several kilometers on foot to seek for health care. It is therefore worrying when health centers are built and not opened for use. Today, we throw the spotlight on the Manyini Health Center, which was constructed in 2015 and is yet to be operationalized. Madam Efia Konja is pregnant and has sleepless nights because she will have to travel 10 kilometers and cross 2 streams before she gets to the next health center. She dreads going into labor at night.
Anytime we are visiting the clinic, we walk for long distance. And as a pregnant woman, walking this far is difficult because I don't have a bicycle nor a motorcycle, and there is no vehicle plying this road. I have sleepless nights because I don't know when I will go in labor.
Another resident, Tikoni Mafando, said children who fall sick are backed or made to walk long distances to access health care in other communities. She appealed to the government, the MP for the area, and the DC to consider commissioning the clinic. When
our children fall sick, going a long distance to Nanundo is a challenge. That's why I'm appealing to those responsible to make the clinic operationalized.
The chief of the community, Kwame Bakachi, said many pregnant women have died in the process of being transported on the long distance to seek health care elsewhere. So,
The
luck of the health center is worrying, and we face a lot of challenges. Our people die in the cases of emergency because of the long distance, especially pregnant women. So I'm appealing to the government to help commission the clinic to end the needless deaths that continue to occur in the community.
The assemblyman for the area, Tachi Matthew, reiterated the need for the commissioning of the hospital.
It's about, let's say, 8 communities. That's the communities the clinic is built to serve. But since 2015 up to now, the clinic is not commissioned to put personnel to work to help the people's need. But it looks as if we are appealing to government, NGOs, whoever who come to our needs, so that the clinics will be open for us.
And that's it for the AM News. For more news, you can log into myjoyonline.com. My name is Mapito CBD. The AM Show continues.
Hello, my name is Evans Mensah, and you can relive all the fun and excitement on Top Story, Newsnight, and of course, Ghana Connect via podcast. All you need to do is to log on to myjoyonline/podcast. Search for your favorite show and relive the moment. Joy 99.7 FM, your radio for discerning listeners.
Well, hello there and welcome back. This is the AM show. And Israel and I are about to get into the newspapers.
Yes.
And yesterday we're kind of wearing black, or we're dark, because it's the 1-year anniversary of the former president of Ghana, Flight Lieutenant Jerry John Rawlings. May his soul continue to rest in peace. And we join with the family to remember and to celebrate everything that he meant to us as family and as a nation. I'm not going to talk about the fact that the memo was to wear black, and Israel has just gone off on his own.
No, but you've said it.
I said what?
Yeah, you've made it clear to everybody else I was supposed to wear black. But I'm just saying, and I'm sure the viewers would agree with me, this is dark enough.
You see, this is the same attitude that makes Hearts of Oak continually lose their matches. The same attitude.
How?
It's fine. Let's go into the newspapers. Do you want to start?
This is dark enough. Eh?
And to think that you were in the same class with Nana Konidu. You're supposed to.
Is that what Nana Konidu told you?
Oh, I missed you yesterday, though. It was so much fun watching you on the trotros.
Oh, yeah, man. And I had a lot of fun on the trotro. Apparently, the transmission was truncating, kept truncating.
Yeah.
So we didn't get the full. But it was fun.
It was fun.
I haven't been a trotro in a while. And,
well, a while means how many years? 25, 30?
No.
40?
No.
50? 60?
It's just been like a year. Last time I was in a trotro was like last year.
For a joint news report, right?
No.
It was to do what?
I just felt like going into a trotro.
I just felt like going into it. So bougie. Okay, so at 6:45, we only have 15 minutes for the review. Okay. I'm going to trust you to start first and not use up all the 15 minutes.
I'll try.
No, you have to, because we have 4 newspapers.
Okay.
So you have 5 minutes.
Okay, let's go. All right, okay. So on the front page of the Daily Graphic, 2022 budget preview, include exit taxes, CSOs advocate. So the CSOs are just saying that let's have a situation where there are all these companies that come into the country and are giving tax exemptions. They enjoy all the tax exemptions. And then just about when they're supposed to, the period they're supposed to enjoy the tax exemptions expires, they say, okay, we're packing out of the country. And so they go with with everything. I mean, and all the profits that they've made. And this is when the states are supposed to start enjoying from them. And they just pack out. So they're saying, let's have exit taxes. So at any point in time when you decide that you're leaving prematurely, you have to pay some penalties or pay some tax on whatever proceeds you want to go out of the country with. And so that's one of the suggestions that they're proposing. It was at a forum hosted by 11 CSOs, including the African Center for Energy Policy, ACEP, the Africa Education Watch, the Alliance for Reproductive Health Rights, the Action for Citizen-Led Transformation in Africa, ACT. There was also Oxfam in Ghana and Mobilization Africa. There's also the NRGI. There was also part of the Natural Resource Governance Institute. They also were part of it. One of the other things they said was that they want government to abandon the LNG import plan. So it says the Africa Program Officer at the NRGI, Mr. Dennis Jair, advised the government to abandon plans to import liquefied natural gas and optimize the utilization of domestic gas. Okay, also in the Daily Graphic, diabetes makes Africa more vulnerable to COVID-19. That's the WHO saying that de Klerk dies at 85. That's the former president of former South African President Frederick William de Klerk. It was under him that Nelson Mandela, the late Nelson Mandela, was freed from prison. And Abraham names new sovereign council. China agrees to ambitious climate action plan with the U.S. So initially, the U.S. president criticized China or the Chinese president for not being present at Glasgow for the conference. But it turns out that at the end of the day, they came up with something. They've agreed an ambitious climate action plan. Okay, Pakistan, 3 other countries strategize on Afghanistan. And resolution. So the Chinese Communist Party has passed a historical resolution cementing Xi Jinping's status in the political history. The document, a summary of the party's 100-year history, addresses its key achievements and future directions. Then, Belarusian President Alexander Lukashenko opened another potential front against Europe yesterday, threatening to choke off gas supplies amid a deepening crisis that has brought migrants surging to EU borders and Western leaders planning to retaliate with more actions. Admit 499 students to School of Law. That's the AG to the Legal Council, General Legal Council. Public purse secure. That's Eugene Ahin saying that. And this story that's of interest to me, the communications director or director of communications at the Office of the President is responding to the call by the Catholic Bishops' Conference. So the Catholic Bishops' Conference, they were speaking at this year's plenary assembly of the GCBC in Wala Sunday. The president of the conference, the Most Reverend Philip Name, said, though poverty stares us in the face, it appears lost to those with power. The express committee of the President of the Republic to protect, the express commitment of the President of the Republic to protect the public purse, a promise that citizens welcomed, seems to be an illusion. So that's the position of the Catholic Bishops' Conference. But the President's Director of Communications, Eugene Ahin, says, no, that's not true. He says the President's pledge has not reneged on his pledge to protect the public purse. Says the transformation that are taking place in all aspects of national life, this is the Director of Communications speaking, in nearly 5 years, as epitomized in the success story of Free Senior High School, the Planting for Food and Jobs, the One District, One Factory initiatives, infrastructure development, among other policies and programs, was enough testimony to a public purse that was being well protected and an economy that had been well managed. So that's the Director of Communications. I'm sure there are many people in this country who disagree with him about the public purse being secure. I personally don't find it convincing. Okay, so moving on, review 1992 Constitution to reflect the current issues. So there's some panelists who have been discussing a review of the 1992 Constitution. Transport unions calls of strike. So there was a strike that was supposed to have happened yesterday, and they called it off. Pro-painting, they've called it off, or more like suspended it. They're saying they're looking at what government is going to do in the budget before they take their decision. Pro-printing of excess ballot papers in 2020, that's the NDC petitioning the IGP. State burial for Nana Ampedu. And then the conversation about the public purse being secure is here. It continues on page 16. One of the other things that the Director of Communications that the Presidency talked about was the delegation that went to COF. Now, he responded to the issue of the presidential delegation. So there's a list that's out there indicating that there were 337 people that came from Ghana, that were at the conference from Ghana. And I think we're one of the top countries, the countries with the most people at the event. Now, the Director of Communications is saying that he can speak for the presidential delegation, and there were just 24.
Okay.
Okay. But I believe what people are talking about has to do with government spending on sending 337 people. So, yes, you can say the president sent 24, but people are also interested. How many people did government sponsor?
Exactly.
Government sponsor. And people are pointing to the people who went from the EPA, the representative from the EPA. And if the Minister of Energy is going, he's not going to go alone. He's going to go with his
entourage.
His entourage. So yes, he may be on the president's list or president's delegation.
But his entourage are on the government. Because obviously he's not going to come from private pockets.
So yes, if we're responding, if government is intending to respond to these things, they should respond and tell us that, yes, there were 337, out of 337, maybe 300 were on government's ticket. And the 37 were media men and all of it.
Even the media men and stuff, at the end of the day, who actually contracted them and
there's some media men who went on their own, or they were sponsored by other organizations.
Which are not public organizations?
No, not public organizations.
Okay, I'm just saying that I think that when we're responding to some of these things, we should respond to them as though you're responding to people who are intelligent and can think and are smart.
Thank you very much.
As opposed to responding to us like we're children and we can't read through between the lines. That's what really pisses me off about the way that we're communicated to as Ghanaians sometimes. Like, y'all don't have sense and y'all can figure this out. No, it doesn't really work like that. So
you just said it.
Yes.
You just spoken my mind. Anyway, moving on.
If only hearts of folk were like that.
Okay, let's move on.
Yes, listen. Israel.
Center spread.
You've done 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, then let me end it.
Yeah, good. Okay, I'm going to do the daily guide. I'm going to do the daily guide this morning. Okay, go ahead.
Ethiopia jolts Ghana's World Cup chance, of course. It ended up being a 1-0 draw, and the Stars, it turns out, need a miracle against Bafana.
Yeah, just like Hearts of Oak. Okay, so front page of the daily guide. No judgment debt against Ghana. That's according to Godfred Dame, Attorney General. 620 million Ghana City Capital Bank case. Atu Essien weeps in court. Nana takes leave, responds to Bishop State's burial for Ampedu. And AG offers law school admission suggestions. Okay, so I want to do some international news. FW de Klerk is dead. Gosh, he's like such a household name for my generation because, you know, like he was always in the news, you know, about one thing or the other. WhatsApp users urged to be wary over friend in need scam. Musk sells 1.1 billion Tesla shares to pay taxes. So Elon Musk on Wednesday sold about 900,000 shares of the car maker stock, netting over $1.1 billion to pay tax obligations for stock options. Wow, okay. It's paying a lot of tax. Ceremony as Benin welcomes looted ad from France. China agrees to a climate action plan with the U.S. Eugene Ahin gives Breku first library. So Eugene in the papers a lot today. Apparently he, okay, anyway. Entertainment, we need policies to guide radio presenters. That's Tommy and Forsen. Don't compare me to other acts. That's Jackie speaking there. Film shooting tragedy. Crew member sues for negligence. And that's it for entertainment. Let me see if there's a few more. Okay, so the woman who was pregnant, the fake pregnancy lady, her case has been adjourned again. Wizkid headlines Ghana's Afrochella 2021. I saw the billboard for that. I think it's on the 28th of December. So Wizkid will be in town. So that's something to look forward to for Christmas. GMB wins award. Cho Boy Ensemble shines at Naga Dunbay program. Back page, Gerard gets Villa job. So Steven Gerrard going to Aston Villa. Thou shalt eat lunch at training. Xavi spells out 10 commandments. Love how these foreign coaches are like laying down the law for their teams. Stars Qatar 2020 dream in limbo. MTN gives swag. Okay, big cash. So that's it for the daily guide. Should we go to, oh God, okay, you want to do the Hearts of Oak story. Yeah. Go ahead.
So Accra Hearts of Oak marked the 110th milestone. That was yesterday. We mentioned that.
Yeah, okay.
We played some Hearts of Oak song for them.
Oh, gosh.
One more story that I'd actually wanted to bring up that has to do with a case brought against the airport company. So family fights Ghana Airport Company over land. So they're saying that the airport city is actually owned, that land is their ancestral land, and they're in court, and they're seeking an order of perpetual injunction restraining GACL, that's the Ghana Airports Company Limited, and GCAA, their agents, assigns, workmen, or otherwise, however described, from interfering with those lands.
Okay. So, just another quick story to touch on. 1,166 drivers without license have been arrested between January and October this year. Yeah, so people driving without license is major. So y'all need to fix that. Go get your license. Not cool. Okay, we're going to do myjoyonline.com. It's 6:59. And we just
Let's get to myjoyonline. But this story about Atuesian weeping in court is something that's of interest. But yeah, we can bring that to you.
Can we get myjoyonline.com, please? Okay, Ghana records 18 new COVID-19 deaths. So 18 more people have died. And then 12 more cases, shooting the country's case count to cumulative total of 130,649.
Okay.
So we just need to be careful when it comes to COVID-19 and the way.
And go get your vaccine.
Get your vaccine. Wear your mask. Wear your mask.
So while we're waiting, maybe I should touch on this story. That Atuesian weeping. The founder and chief executive of defunct Capital Bank, William Atuesian, shed tears yesterday as he continued his examination in chief in a 620 million cedi trial where he and 2 others are accused of stealing from the bank, leading to its insolvency. The accused was telling the court about the overall performance of the insolvent bank against other banks in the country following its classification as Class 1 Universal Bank when he started showing signs of emotional breakdown.
Okay, yeah, no, this is not an all situation.
Why?
Right now, fam. Okay, so we're going to take a break for sports. And we have a big match coming up, so we're going to be talking about all of that and so much more.
We had one yesterday, which the Stars drew, and then, so it means that you have to win convincingly against Bafana.
Yep.
This
Otherwise,
we're out.
Safini, Adbina.
Yeah.
So we'll talk more about that, and of course we'll bring you Israel's trip on the Trotros yesterday, let you know how that went, and then so much more. And we're also remembering ex-president, or former president, late President Jerry John Rawlings, as we celebrate the 1-year anniversary of his death, celebrating his life and his legacy. All that and more on the AM show. Don't go anywhere.
Hello, my name is Nathaniel Atto. You can catch up with all the fun and inspiration on the Joy Sports link here on Joy 99.7 FM, together with all other shows over and over again. It's very simple. All you need to do is go to myjoyonline.com/podcast and relive all of those fun moments over and over again. Joy 99.7 FM, your radio for discerning listeners.
Joy 99.7.
Yesterday there was this. I went on a trotro.
Yes.
And we're supposed to carry it live.
Yeah.
Except our broadcast equipment, it kept failing us, so we didn't get the whole conversation. But I got to actually appreciate the kind of conversations that take place in trotros. It started off. It was a slow start. You know, people in the trotro were kind of posing, and they were speaking. Some of them were speaking English and all that. And then when the conversation started,
they exploded.
Let's get. So we're packaging because we didn't get to bring you. It was truncated yesterday. We decided to put together a certain package and to bring that to you. So you watch this. So we're trying to board a vehicle to either Circle or Accra, so that we can get to interact with some of the passengers on board the vehicle. We're trying to find out their views about the fuel price increases and the likely impact on transport fares. But even without the transport fares coming into the picture, the prices of virtually every item will go up regardless of whether the transport fares are increased or not. So that's another conversation we intend to have. Right now, my priority is to try and catch a trotro that's going to take me. But it turns out most of the vehicles that are coming, the trotros that are coming, are already full. And so I'd have to keep trying. But if we're also lucky and we get one of the buses, the Yalolo buses, we're going to board that as well. So come with me in my attempt to get to board a trotro so that we can get to bring the conversation to you. Let's see. We are going. I'm sure you've noticed that fuel prices have been going up in recent times.
There's always quarrel in the bars and in the church, so you should do something about it.
There's always quarrel?
Yeah.
Why?
Because of the prices.
Okay, when was the last quarrel?
Just this morning. Others will say I have to pay this, others will say I have to pay this. And the mate and the drivers and the passengers, some will be fighting and all that.
So this morning, what was the issue?
Because of the price.
No, but the transport fares haven't been increased, have they?
Some people have increased it. All that has not come out.
Really?
Sure.
Has this trotro increased the price?
No, yesterday we had the same problem in trotro because of fare.
So that the trotro driver, by himself, has decided to increase it?
Sure. The mates, they've been increasing it. All the other prices have not come out.
Because of some wood, the young ones, you know, can be our say. And so mine, any papa for me.
Okay, in the evening, all no load was so maybe I ought to so no or straight. What is it ought to so no load or console? No, we make now. We go Insawam straight. I'm going to Insawam, so I'm taking Insawam fare. He said, okay, no, I'm going to Amasaman, so I'll board the car and pay the Amasaman fare. The person too is going to Insawam.
And of how I be. Can you get me to can you get me from Insawam straight? Abba do media. Abba fire free media. At the Aquacra and Insawam 40 more. And not your bedroom media fair. Then you none of your work what the hour media fair. What's the answer? If you in Sawam now, okay, original Sawam one, Ebia one Nipa, can you free Sawam? Bet me to a free station empty. And your lord free Sawam, bedroom media, Pokwasiama Sama Sapema. And not your bedroom Nama fair. Who got the
okay. When it's getting to evening, the passengers, there's a demand in transportation for the passengers, so they take advantage over that. Yeah.
Almost say Anopa, so more cry. Ubi ebesi wo Achimota, Ujini less. Ubi besi wo La Pasa, Ujini less. I'm saying in you made the Omo Badia. We see all the way. Uji in Sawam Street.
Mimit in Sawam. Okay. It is a me pona me kwa. Say Milodu Street. Milodu Street now. No my in Sawam fair because when you say on con Sawama. Car ni be si ona say me see me con Sawama. Men phone Sawam car because who go for VIP a. Na say VIP no. Ufu a baby obesi bia no obeji o say ne o se je o.
And the pain of Oban. I don't want to do and some quan for Mamma. Also, things are woman. Our background. I did not pay when you someone I'm Anyama. Now, me timid. I would do medium with the original now family. But so you empty the buy. Some run from and some to a media one. Safeno, and Mina made your account. A dream rush hour.
Yeah.
It will be a person called Fintel. Meanwhile, we call some street. We do not want that one hour in your car. We should ask you about the car price. What I say? No, playing a quan home. No, we're sure car price. Maybe you and your bianchi until all the empty airport. Whereby says home, you should know. Until I say, no, so.
Can it be a second has a ya? I load in some a honor. So we were full and some car. Ever honor, Eddie, I caught Sabia, Sapperman. I want a fair. As a station cow. The makers of your Benjamin met me new me and see what Haniako Second Honor, no beside our Bramijana. It's a cow. As the same can one a load from Hossas, Sissini Penibia, the Akudun. I didn't know the same thing now almost somewhere. No more than someone or mono anything be our different fair. Yeah. And also Miss Mentiasi.
Okay. So clearly there's some misunderstanding between the passengers and the transport operators. So they're saying that they would insist that government comes out with the specific fares and insist or ensure that the drivers stick to those specific fares, so that if you're coming from Accra Central and you say you're going to anybody who joins and asks.
Hello, my name is Evans Mensah, and you can relive all the fun and excitement on Top Story, Newsnight, and of course Ghana Connect via podcast. All you need to do is to log on to myjoyonline/podcast. Search for your favorite show and relive the moment. Joy 99.7 FM, your radio for discerning listeners.
Of the journey, that person should be made to pay exactly how far they've traveled and not charge them all the way to Insawam. Because the drivers are using that to cheat them. That's one of the issues that's outstanding.
Yes, anybody may put her. Ravaninya, Benjira, na police, macho. And maybe I check your central and I'm near police for Bacosa. Passa, Adia Moyano, yeah, passing your phone, what the pressure to us. So say I'm watching ya, what the driver you call, well, yes, they say I am there. Kaiban was what, 750. Yeah, you could. And the pan and the traffic, you could prove here, I said 12 o'clock. Wow, a pan and count, come and you see Mubusa. A pan now we see a taboo now.
Okay. Okay.
And what the other doesn't so oh, and that tie, and one year old. What for?
Okay.
And you saw one year old. One was an egg, or you didn't know.
Okay, so another issue.
About 4 o'clock per night. 4 o'clock net.
You mean the Ayalolo no?
But 4:30 net. Cabani and coffee. And to be my banana cram car. Traffic come a tibuno. And easy.
Okay.
And young property answer me at Timupra. Your work.
Okay.
And you are a driver or short toy. Because of
Osheti fuel. Okay, let me explain. Okay.
So,
Mami Chechimu. So a few issues that he is raising. He's saying essentially that beyond everything else, the drivers also have issues with the police officers because they're saying that they keep arresting them all over the place. He's raised 2 issues. He says that the police officers are arresting them indiscriminately, and okay, so he is saying he's saying that the police officers are harassing them, and then he also makes the point. So he also says that apart from that, they're also having to deal with the traffic, and that if a vehicle is moving in the evening and it's rush hour, it's going to take them a long time to get to their destinations, and that's why they would sometimes increase or insist on charging the fare all the way to Nsawam. So these are 2 issues. I've come off the vehicle with some of the passengers who I was on the vehicle with, and then the issue is that yes, as far as they're concerned, Gifty, you are saying that the taxis should be scrapped.
Some of the taxis
should be scrapped.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Because they are taking much space. It should be normal. Some. That's why I said some.
Okay.
Because see the quarrel right now erased. See the quarrel.
All the time.
All the time we are having quarrels. Why? The government should do something about it. We are always having quarrels. Today they are small. Yesterday we had a hell in a car. I was going to Legon. We had the hell in the car. The way people were shouting, I will not pay this, I will pay this, I will pay that. Why should we have these challenges in the car?
Yeah.
It shouldn't be so.
Thank you.
We are begging the government. They should do something about it. They should do our roads for us because we know they are taking taxes and a whole lot of money from people. So they should use it.
We have laws in Ghana here. They should use the law to work so that things will be regulated. We are suffering too much. We are suffering in the country. Like everybody wants to take his own decision and do his own thing. It's not working well. So they should regulate the laws and know how they will use it.
Okay. So you heard them. They are saying that they would expect that government to do something about the situation. One of the main issues they have is the harassment of the police officers, they say. And then they also talk about the fact that there's too much traffic during rush hour, and as we are realizing, the rush hour traffic, it turns out the passengers are being made to pay for it because the drivers and the transport operators are finding clever means to extort monies from them. So if you're going to Nsawam, they will insist that even if you're going to Achimota and you board an Nsawam vehicle, they'll tell you that the vehicle is going all the way to Nsawam. So they expect you to pay the full fare to Nsawam. Except what they know for a fact is it's going to get to probably Achimota and everybody is going to alight. And then they'll say, okay, we're not going to, now we're going to, they pick other passengers at Achimota and continue the journey. Then they get more money. So that's another thing they would want addressed. So yes, these are some of the issues. I've been accosted by some of the ladies here. They're saying that they also have a say. They want to talk about the increase in fuel prices and transport fares. So let's get to speak with them. Okay, They were minutes and in your baby. Tomo mini neke.
No phenomenon can me to ask in shiny. Last year, me asking Shan 1.8. We are 2.0 no 3 million. Asking Shan 3 million. But I share 3 million. But no, but you know, Talole fair, Pono, watch cafe, Toss and I'm with Tide. I can be more catch
mini nibi Oshan.
In champagne, shan cake.
You are pie, charge more aluminum.
Oh, no, charging more than a cockabadiano, no charging more.
You are no fee, mia pie me.
Miami, Kankabani, Miami, and Kabashi.
You are Jeffy, me aluminum.
In your Jeffy, you go cry. You are a government, any piano, a chapter, no Ninibiabashi. A tower, 1 year be. 1 year be, now, and you make a match boy, no one quam.
She can't only catch a petrol, no. No, make what catch a petrol, no, catch a petrol, no. The taxi say. Taxi say na ake wu petrol no ni nyeke ache no. Petrol ke shika na ke ba ma suku ke ni bi
shika no mo shika Ghana government no mo no one shika de no mo no de yo ake ha na ke fe no na kwa fe ni wo man bi e wo ya ajo wo shika yo Ghana ke wo shika
o chon shika me no mo
ni ba je man se gbe ka ba fe ba Ghana Hausa me ni je ton aba Ghana mo fe mo ba Ghana efi we Ghana ba bala shika Ghana
okay, shika me no mo shika be no akan tuni olololo.
Bra mi pa fai. Ni wo yin ba fan je ne ken. Le shako ni san e che ne ken no won pa fai. Akwa mi a wo fi o.
Okay.
Me so me ton jalabia. Se ya tum ne boade nso ba. Ye pe no fofo.
Adenti ni atu jalabia ni mo.
Se ka sika ya na me ya tum. Etu ba ye be no fofo. Wo so kwa wunya ni ye dia fa kura de egu fo ma wase. We ya fe. Mama atensidi. Me so anu na me de hwe me ma. Enti esra ba ni se wonya bibi mfa patroni diesel na ho. Na ma yeso ya bra pa ba ta no. Single mother ne do so pa.
We are single mother. Oh sir.
Me ma nyira so university. Ma me ensa. We betimi ahwe wo. Tu ahwe ya adwama ya na akro no na be kwa akro. Enti aba no wo mo aye ne ye do so. Wo ma Bible siampo ya nya bi ye trotro ye din susu ye ne ye single mother ye nya bi wo mo a wo bu sika mom ne nya ye wo ma sika fo no kwa ye ni ma ye ne ahia fo no ye kofo ti esra do wo mo aye pa wo mo aye.
Okay all right, so those are the views of some of the people. So let's you take the microphone. So what is your issue?
My issue. You speak local language.
Okay. So mini Joy Osanie.
Oh, Osanie fact. You are a few market. I am blue. Go on, Pafai. To bona fola ya hawo. Koni wana to tashi won pete gbogbo e. E ke bi e fe kanshi. No ji wo problem e. Wo gbe na. Go won hu akeshi. Drivers can buy a strike. Cut a strike. Many be ba he ni hawo. E ba gba won won Pafai. Koni petrol bona me ru na ache no fio aha.
Shika okay, ache petrol no. Ka ache petrol no. Shika ni akeba ache no. Kwesa na ke ma school ke ni bi. Wo ko ka ache no.
Aye bona balance on it. Na ti score je bi o ball akegbomo ade san gbomo ade. Ko che bi o po keke fio keke. E ba se hin. Ati se che fio ni ke o ko ba di school chukala ka ni bi ese. Ke petrol yanwe pe. Ni eni yanwe no fia no yanwe po petrol ji ndoko ni ka onme no gba papa no fia na chaki Ghana bana mo fia mo mblo me o mi panye fa ishiba comment STC wo ke atogo 34 cedi na ngme petrol ne 38 bi na 38 cedis e wo ka ngme petrol no kunwe mi no le ni baba is going to 42.
Okay, STC be ame.
Bi na STC ba se no wo ke ya aye kakada ye short better 34 cedi na ngme no 38
na ngme petrol no
38 cedis
na ngme petrol no ni STC hu ame
wo mi to no le ake lo le shika ke e yanwe e ha no fia no yanwe ya ke chachu no awe lo le agbele ba charge fi wo bo shika no ba na fi e isa no ke ngme no ji efe ye wo won pa fai mi e shita mo ni wo tash wo nyon ya ke wo shika fe fite no ji mi hu problem.
All right. So she's explaining that, yes, apart from the transport fares, the increase in fuel prices and the transport fares, which affects them, they're also appealing that they be giving, because it's approaching Christmas, they be giving an opportunity to just stay by the wall and continue to hawk their items, and that they shouldn't be harassed this Christmas. Christmas abanya.
Like after Christmas, we're not going to cash
after Christmas.
After Christmas,
She be an
I'm on the 15th about what I you will be a set, I will look over.
Okay. Okay. All right. So yes, everybody has a view on these issues, because transport fares and fuel price increases affect virtually everything. So you can appreciate why they're eager to speak to these issues. So from Accra Central, this is Joy News, bringing you the views of the people on the streets.
Hello, my name is Nathaniel Atto. You can catch up with all the fun and inspiration on the Joy Sports link here on Joy 99.7 FM, together with all other shows over and over again. It's very simple. All you need to do is go to myjoyonline.com/podcast and relive all of those fun moments over and over again. Joy 99.7 FM, your radio for discerning listeners.
Joy 99.7.
All right, well, welcome back. And this is the AM show. We're going to have an NSMQ conversation. Of course, we've been talking about it a lot for the past few weeks. Really excited about what's going on and who's winning, who's losing, and all of that. And of course, it's getting really heated because we've entered into the knockout stages. And so, you know, if you lose, you're out. You lose, you're out. I can't wait to see Adisco and Ogasco out. I must say. Joining me this morning, I have Malkini Ribeiro. She's the head marketing and communication, Prudential Life Insurance, and Samuel Nate Ajo from Prime Time Limited. Now, this morning, we want to have a conversation about the associations that NSMQ has and how, you know, you guys help to make it possible. And of course, we're grateful, aren't we? Sure, for all our sponsors and our partners. Because NSMQ is so amazing for all of us. So Prudential Life Insurance, why did you decide to join the NSMQ support system, like I'm calling them, and how long have you been with them for?
Okay, so Prudential Life Insurance, like you're saying, is a life insurance company, and someone will probably wonder what could it possibly have in connection with math and science.
Yeah.
But at Prudential, one of the things that we do is to help people to get the most out of life. We do that through our life insurance packages and also through sponsoring certain things that we think bring that to the fore. And education is one of those things. And even though it may seem like math and science have nothing to do with insurance, you'd realize that the actuarial unit of life insurance is based on math and science. So we're actually very connected.
Right.
And we thought that this is a great way to sponsor excellence and to encourage people to do their best so that we can get better quality of life. Because everything, the fact that you can hear me is through math and science.
Yeah, of course.
We would like to continue to sponsor initiatives like this, yes.
Okay, well, what has it been for you to have Prudential on, to support the team?
Well, I would say that it has been quite great. They've been with us for, I think, about 4 to 5 years or so, having partnered us initially with one of our satellite events called the SciTech Fair. And then they migrated onto the new edition where we have the NSMQ Star, and they have sponsored it right from its inception. And it's been quite tremendous, and for considering the kind of support that Prudential Life has given to us. They opened the doors for us, and I mean, every year it's not going to be a hustle and bustle of how to get them on board, but they know that they have to be there, and they fulfill that obligation seamlessly, and it's been quite great.
Yeah, I can imagine. So he, like someone said, you sponsored the NSMQ Star. Why that particular one?
Well, one of the reasons is if you follow the quiz, you'd realize that most people focus on who wins and who moves on to the next point. But I think the problem of the day is a unique way for us to also sponsor excellence, because most people don't realize it, but whether or not you move on to the next stage, you have a chance of winning something with the problem of the day prize. So even if you don't move on, even if you don't advance to the final stages, once you solve the problem and you get a perfect score, we'll give you a cash prize so that you don't feel left out in this, because I realize that most people end up focusing on who wins, who doesn't win. But we think that everyone can be a winner, so that's one of the reasons
that's why you
sponsor it.
That's why you picked that. Now, you've been on the market as a life insurance brand for a few years. I don't know. I mean, in the first place, how do Ghanaians feel about life insurance? What's that like?
Unfortunately, we are still yet to permeate as much as we'd like to. People don't like to think about the future like that. Why are we going to talk about death? Why are we going to talk about accidents? Ghanaians seem to think once you mention that, then it means that you're calling it into existence. But unfortunately, as we can all tell, life is unpredictable. And our job is to make sure that when something unpredictable happens, we are there to offer you a hand and support you during that phase.
Right.
So we're working hard to get people to realize that life insurance is
not a bad thing.
It's not a bad thing.
Not a call to death.
Exactly.
I see. Exactly. Okay, so moving forward, are you going to stay? Do you have plans to stay with the NSMQ for a long time?
Yes, for as long as they'll have us.
It's almost like a marriage, huh? As long as you'll have me. Yeah. And what's it been like for you? I mean, apart from just sponsoring them and knowing that you're doing a good thing for them, has it made people more aware of you? Have there been benefits from sponsoring them?
We definitely have greater brand awareness. There are quite a lot of people know, oh, I know your company, you sponsor the third round on NSMQ. And because of social media as well, we have a lot of people tweeting at us, especially when their schools win a cash prize. They want to know, hey, when are we getting the money? Even though the money is not coming to them, but it's good to engage. It's good to engage them. Yes. Yeah. So it's been great.
It's been great, huh? Okay, Samuel, let's talk about the actual quiz for a little bit. So the knockout stages.
Yes. So we're done with the prelims, and so knockout stage is starting next week. That's on Monday, on the 15th. We start on the 1/8 stage, and there are quite some interesting contests that we are going to witness. And I just shudder to think what's going to happen.
What's going to happen? Which ones are some of the really interesting ones?
Well, there's this contest that will feature Tamale Senior High School and Achimota. Then Kaponyi, but I wouldn't say they are that up to it. But it's going to be between Tamale Senior High School and Achimota School, because last 2 years or so, they met and then Tamale beat Achimota School.
Oh.
So from information that I have gathered, looks like Tamale Senior High School are very much in their elements, and so something's going to happen.
So trouble. Okay.
And there's another contest that will feature 2 former champions, St. Thomas Aquinas and then St. Augustine's College.
Ooh.
That's going to be another massive.
And this is knockouts. You lose your out.
You're out. You lose your out. And then another one that would feature Fans Film and the Ghana National, and then one other school. So these kind of parents are going to be quite
electric,
very electric, and I shudder to think what's going to happen.
You yourself, you can't wait.
And seriously, there are some 2 schools that have been monitoring for quite some time from the regional qualifiers, and I think that those 2 schools could cause tsunamis and the National Science and Maths of 2021. A school like Odogono Senior High School, then Priso SHS. I believe they're going to cause a stir.
Cause a stir this year. Oh, we look forward to that.
Yes, Odogono also won the Prudential Star Award.
Yes. So something's really going to happen at the 1/8 stage, and we just cannot wait to see.
Yeah, can't wait either. Just before you go, so if there are some of our listeners who are interested in getting some life insurance, do you want to just run us through what the process is like?
Okay.
For getting life insurance, and how much it costs and that kind of thing.
Okay. So first of all, there are various packages for various things. We offer packages for health insurance if anything happens to you. We offer funeral packages for if someone in your family dies, and we'll give you some money to take care of that. We offer educational packages, so you can, if you have kids or you plan to have kids and you want to make sure that they have a better education, in future, especially because of rising costs. We have packages for that as well. We also offer asset managing services. So we have one that allows you to grow your investments. That is not even a life insurance package. It's called True Wealth. You grow your money, literally. Like I said, there are varying products, but you can reach out to us on any of our social media pages. Someone would call you. You can go onto our website and just talk to there's a digital bot that can reach out to you. We'll have someone call you as well. And also our phone numbers. Anytime, any of the phone numbers, you can also walk into any of our branches across the country and someone will attend to you. We'll make sure that you have what you need to get the most out of life.
Okay, well, thank you so much for joining us this morning. And thank you so much for your sponsorship and your involvement in the NSMQ. It means a lot to us.
We're happy to be associated with the brand.
Yeah, thank you so much. And thank you to you, Sam.
What's up, guys? My name is Sammy Forson, host of the Weekend City Show and Ignition right here on Joy 99.7 FM. Well, anytime you happen to be busy and you miss out on your favorite shows right here on Joy FM, here's what you can do. Log on to myjoyonline.com/podcast. Just go on there and you'll find all your shows on demand 24/7. There you can catch up. Remember, Joy FM remains your radio for discerning listeners.
Kenny Ribeiro, Head Marketing and Communication, Prudential Life Insurance, and Samuel Nate Ajo from Primetime Limited. Now, the broadcast of the National Science and Maths Quiz on Joy News is supported by Cowbell, our milk high in protein and vitamins, Papa's Pizza, Taste It, Love It, Tampico, Simply Irresistible, DBS Industries Limited, we truly are your roof experts, Kings Group Limited, Set a Standard, a U Lesson, Love Learning, Ace Medical Insurance, a new face of health financing, Dole Yogurt, More, I Need More, and Smart App. Sam, are there any sponsors that we'd like to say good morning to?
Yes, I want to say a good morning and a big thank you to the Ghana Education Service, who are the main sponsors. Then Absa Bank, the other partner sponsor. Then, of course, Prudential Life, Gore, Airtel Tigo, Dano Milk, Accra College of Medicine, Accra Academic City College, Joy Industries, Zipline, GTP, Casapreco. I mean, they are sponsored with their Kiki something product.
Okay.
And then we have YFM, of course, Joy News, and Cooper State International, Kenya Airways, and Adansi Travels, who are sponsoring the winners to a trip to Dubai. So I want to say a big thank you to all of these companies, especially at this point with Prudential Life, for being massive for Science and Maths Quiz.
Okay, well, thank you so much. And thank you to all our sponsors and friends and partners on the NSMQ. Okay, so up next, why don't we get into some music? We have the DYC Choir on the show. Stay tuned in. We'll be right back after.